That's a wide body beat. That's a wide body beat.
Panther Nation, what's good? Welcome back to Carolina's Armchair GM. I am your host, CJ. All right, if you haven't been living under a rock anywhere, you would know that what this time of year is. We are into the new league year, legal tampering period, started Monday, and it was not without its fair share of drama for our Carolina Panthers. Okay. Um, if you are frequent to Twitter, X, everybody still calls it Twitter, you would see that our fan base was in total uproar over one particular move that we will talk about. But it was a crazy couple of days. Um, you know, kind of fun and exciting too. For me, I'm sitting here uh reloading the cap page to see exactly what's going on with that, any changes to that. We started off with like what 26 million in cap, and that number is going down, it's going up, it's going down, it's going up. So yeah, it's been a whirlwind. Well, a whirlwind for us Panther, because our team was not very good last year. We are trying to get better, and I think we're in one of those situations where no matter what is done, you can't make everybody happy. You're not going to make everybody happy. Even if you did everything right, you still won't make some people happy. It is what it is. It is what it is. Right. So thank you for joining me tonight. I call this just like it did last year. Call this the Panthers free agent hustle because you think about it. Everybody calls it free agent frenzy, which it is a frenzy. But it's also a hustle too because these guys got to go out there. They have to talk to these agents, talk to these players, convince them, hey, you need to come here. This is why you need to come here. Even like we got a free agent that came in from the Chiefs. Uh, not last year, won the Super Bowl. The prior 2 years before last year. Okay, so my thing is, why would you want to leave there? Those are things they got to do. They got to convince them, and on top of everything else, the money. Money is what convince a lot of these guys to come here, but also you got to throw in playing time, and some other things. So it's all a hustle. You got to get the people here. You got to get them to want to come here. Okay. But yeah, but before we get into it, hey, I thank everybody for joining me. Okay, if you haven't already, please like and subscribe. You can catch me on all social media at right here, Armchair GMCJ. Okay. As I start my new channel, if you want to make a donation, as I can't get super chats yet. If you want to make a donation, my cash app is also Armchair GM. All right. And I appreciate all the love and support. Okay. But before we get started here, I am going to what I usually do and go through some comments. All right, Antonio McClanahan, what's going on, man? How you doing? And as always, do what Antonio says: like, subscribe, comment, and share the stream, please. He said, "Panther Pride, keep pounding, sir." Steve, what's going on, man? How you doing? Hope you doing all right. George, what's going on? How you doing? Right. Now, first thing I wanted to do is, kind of like I always do, give everybody a recap of the cap space, and I am also going to drop the link in the chat if anybody wants to come up here and join me and give me your thoughts and opinions about this these past couple of days here in Panther Nation with all that's going on with free agency. Okay, but let's go ahead and start off with the over the cap. Okay, as of right now, okay, and as of right now, this morning, no, I'm sorry, about midnight last night, we were up to $30 million. Okay. Um, we are up to 35 now. Spot Track has us at 33 or 32. I want to say it is. I can't remember which one. But that is a big jump from what we had earlier. Now, if I'm not mistaken, okay, if I'm not mistaken, Shy Tuttle, Shy Tuttle took a pay cut, which we'll talk about here a little bit later as well. But the savings from Shy Tuttle's pay cut, I do not think are on here at all. Because it still has him Let me see. Yeah, it still has him at $9 million cap hit for this year, and I do not think that is correct. Okay, so Shot Tuttle's numbers have not been updated. Um, J.C. Horn, his contract has freed up some cap space for the Panthers. That is on here as well. Austin Corbett being back, contract that they gave him that also freed up a little bit of cap space because if his contract would have went void, um, hold on, let me see. Dunky Dory said, "I'm listening, eating supper. Got that double whopper." Stain H1 said, "Dowdle the only signing for us today." Let me tell you, Dowdle is news to me if that's the case. Uh, pull up on Berg here. I haven't seen that yet. Okay. Well, hey, if that's happened, y'all let me know because I haven't. All right, but appreciate you for stopping through, thing. But yeah, oh goodness, got what I was that totally took me off my train of thought. Um, Austin Corbett, some Austin Corbett. His signing created a little bit of cap space for us as well. Um, Still don't know. Oh yeah, oh shoot, yeah, we got Dowdle on a 1 year deal. Okay, appreciate you, Michael Anderson. Thank you. Wow. Okay. Said, yeah, but anyone else? Sorry, I don't know where to check. Oh, Twitter, man. Twitter or either like the ESPN free agency tracker. Those are my go-to sources. And the crazy thing is, Twitter had the nerve, had the absolute audacity to crash on Monday. The absolute unmitigated gall to crash on us, NFL fans, on Monday when we're trying to see what in God's name is going on with our favorite team. Bruh, I could say something, but I'm gonna keep that to all right. But yeah. But yeah, Twitter and NFL.com, ESPN. ESPN has a free agency tracker and it continuously updates and it'll tell you what's going on. Okay. But yeah, for a team that didn't have a whole lot of cap space, we got something to work with. We got something to work with. So, we'll see. But as of right now, we are sitting at 35.99,731 in cap space. Now that number is going to go down because the only free agent signings from the past couple of days that are up here and updated is Bobby Brown the third. Let me see, Sam Martin, the punter that we got from Buffalo. And who else? The signings from last week, Cade Mays, Tommy Tremble, Austin Corbett, they're all on here as well. Okay. But Trevon Morig, I hope I'm saying that right. Morig, Patrick Jones, Tershawn Wharton, um, Christian Roseboom, who was another person that we signed here right before I went live. I had to make another slide about him. And what's this man named Dan Chesney, whatever his name is, the wide receiver. He's been on the roster. He was on the practice squad last year, wide receiver. Okay. But all of those, they have to over the cap, spot track, whoever you look at, they have to get those numbers, get them populated in here, and then that cap number will change. All right. According to Spot Track, we're gonna have to have about $12 million to sign our draft picks. Now with that was it the top 51 roster rule, they're saying that that could be around 6 or 7 million, depending on where they fall, because over the summer they have the top 51 players on your roster count against your cap because NFL roster, you have 90-man roster through the summer. So to help the teams out, with not having to have all that cap space count against them, until they get to the start of the season, you got the top 51 rule. But the only thing with that is if one player comes off of that top 51, you got to replace them with another one. Right. So some of the draft picks later on in the draft may fall below that top 51. So their cap hit might not be counted towards the cap, until the moves are made later on in the season. Panther later on in the offseason slash preseason, and the Panthers get their roster straight. Okay, but yes, Right now, we're sitting at $35 million, but that number will change as soon as the rest of these free agents sign these contracts. Um, as soon as over the cap, spot track, get the information, get it populated. Right. Let me see. Uh, okay. Yeah, yeah. But anyone else? Sorry, I don't know what that got you. Okay, now I had that up. This is what I'm in here. What's up, Rock Jones? How you doing? He said, "What's good, my long lost cousin? Doing good, man. Doing good." Douglas, what's going on, Doug? He said we got a 1-2 punch now. Hey, we do. I wonder. there is there is an account on X called Spam Morgan. Spam Morgan. Okay. I think it was somebody else's account, and I think they changed their name right after all this started on Monday to Spam Morgan, and they have been having a literal conniption fit for the past 2.5 days. I mean, and it's to the point. I can't lie. It's actually pretty funny. Actually, pretty funny. I can't tell if he's super serious or he's disappointed a little bit, but he's trying to do all this to make jokes out of it. But I mean, just a straight up meltdown for the last 2.5 days. It's been rather entertaining, but we'll see. All right. Mr. Hunky Dory said the Panthers are giving Rico Dowdle a 1-year deal worth up to 6.25 million. And the deal done by David Cantor and Ness. Let me see, Robbie. Yes, and those are okay. All right. Yeah. Wow, we got a darn good running back. Yeah, okay. I ain't mad at old Rico. Dude, if I ain't mistaken, didn't Rico run for a nice a nice 100 on us this past season with what Dan been trying to fix these past couple days? Yeah. We'll see. We'll see. Now, maybe or maybe not, that'll get kind of temper down some of these Cam Scatterboo you see cries that I've been hearing on X today. A lot of people are like take Cam Scatterboo now in the second round. There are also a lot of folks, Ashton Genty from Boise State, take him at number 8. And I'm not even gonna lie, I just sit there, I look at it, I shake my head, and I just keep on moving. I just keep on moving. I just don't I don't really yeah, I don't really see that being the move at 8. I don't, especially now with Rico Dowdle. Not at all. Not at all. All right, y'all. So let's go ahead and get into it. Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. I had the last slide up there. So as y'all saw my last slide, how did Dan do? Y'all go ahead and be processing that, thinking about that for when I actually get to it. Okay, and then we can question. Okay. Now the first major news that hit on Monday, JC Horn record contract extension. Okay. He is the highest paid defensive back in NFL history. And I think that's because his contract is worth up to $108 million, I think, with all the incentives and everything. Okay. So it's 4 years, $100 million, $70 million guaranteed. Okay. I don't now a lot of people and what I've been hearing and myself as well, didn't know why it took so long for this to happen. I thought they would have got this done week ago, 2 weeks ago, everything signed, sealed, but they waited till the first day of the legal tampering period, and they got J.C. Horn signed, and he is back. He is officially back. Um, I haven't seen anybody that had any real negative things to say about J.C. Horn. We do got to get him some help. Well, they did bring back a little bit of help. Later to let me see. Yeah, yesterday. Okay. Did bring back a little bit of help for him, but I'm still thinking that that secondary is still in need of another cornerback. Now they have not done that so far in free agency besides Mike Jackson. Mike Jackson is back. He has been our only cornerback signing. We did get a safety, Trevon Moreg from Raiders, but cornerback they haven't addressed that issue yet. Besides Mike Jackson, but I do think that we can that we they need to address that situation. If not now in free agency in the draft. Okay. The Chaos Gaming, what's going on? Let me see. The Quan, let me see. Sub Scissor Hendrickson. Hey, what's going on? I hope I said that right. If I didn't, I apologize. I'm sorry. What's going on with you? Yeah, but JC Horn is back, and I think all of Panther Nation can breathe a sigh of relief. They Panthers released a clip of of Dan Morgan was like, yeah, if they're calling for JC Horn, yeah, we're telling everybody, he's not up for discussion. He's ours. He's not going. Miss Hunky Dory said Horn's contract is made to be restructured with $70 million guaranteed. Yep. Now let me see. Let me get to the contract here. Let me pull it up on the screen. Probably. Give me a second. I'm old. There we go. Okay. Now his contract, and as you can see, the first year of his contract is pretty team friendly for the Panthers. Base salary $1.1 million. He got a prorated signing bonus $5.6 million. Per game roster bonus none this year. Workout bonus 500 grand. Guaranteed salary 1.6 million. So that cap number is 7.3 million. Now, if they would not have done anything, and J.C. Horn would have played on his 5th year option. That 5th year option was for $12 million. So the Panthers have saved around $5 million with re-signing J.C. Horn, giving him this extension, and that has also helped us be able to go out and get more players in this free agent period. Okay. All right, so that is J.C. Horn is back, and young brother is paid. And I think I can speak for all of Panther Nation when I say, I pray that he has 5 of the healthiest years in his career. He has been labeled injury prone. One was friendly fire that game against the Lions where he had his forearm broke, I think it was, by Jeremy Chin. He didn't play in that final game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And the crazy thing is, speaking of that particular season, the Panthers interim head coach, I met him this weekend at the airport up in Newark. Steve Wilkes. Me and my wife went up there for my cousin's surprise birthday party, and so we were leaving. Went up there Saturday. We left, came back Sunday, and we were sitting there in the terminal waiting for the arriving plane to finish unloading or to start unloading. And like the third person to come off the plane was Steve Wilkes. And it was crazy because I looked, and I did one of these. I tapped my wife. I was like, Steve Wilkes. He came around the corner. I kind of caught him dead in the eye, and I was like, Coach Wilkes. He had his headphones on. He was like, "Hey, how you doing?" I was like, "Hey, Coach Wilkes." He said, "What's your name?" I said, My name is James." He said, "Nice to meet you, James." And I told him, I said, "Well, Coach," I said, "Big fan of yours. I wish you success." And I was truthful with him too. I said, "I wish you was still here." But he went on about his business. I told Doug about it. He said, "You better I got a picture." I said, "Man, I wasn't trying to bother that man. He was getting off his plane trying to get back to work." But it was cool. Thinking about meeting him. But that's what made me think about we talking about that J.C. Horn getting injured in that second to last game of that season where he was interim head coach. In his first year, he did have I forgot what the injury was, but it happened in the either Dallas game or the game before Dallas. Um, Probably more so related to the turf, anything else. He had another one, I forgot what that was. But now, as you all have seen, or if you haven't seen, or if you haven't heard, Panthers did hire a new training staff this offseason. All right. Now, I don't know if what led up to that. Maybe they weren't liking the way things were going. Some of these players were having injuries. They weren't, they were coming back. Maybe they weren't rehabbing right. People having the same injury over and over again. I don't know. But they have a new training staff this season. So I hope that move can help players, like JC out, help him stay healthy. And yeah, help him, help him help us, help him help the Panthers make good on this contract. That's one. All right. Yeah, but that's JC Horn. Okay. Now, the next one, actually, I was gonna say this was the first happening of Monday that really got Panther Nation in an uproar, but it was actually the second. It was actually the second because before this, um, Steelers traded for DK Metcalf. A lot of people wanted DK Metcalf. I wouldn't have mind if he'd have showed up in Charlotte as well. DK wanted a new contract plus $30 million a year. All right. And the word is that the Panthers offered him a contract, and no, sorry, not offered him a contract, offered Seattle a trade, and it was for a third and a sixth round pick this year. And I don't know the validity of all that because we don't have a sixth round pick this. So call it how you want it on that one. Don't know if they really did offer him a trade, the Seattle a trade or not. But that was reported. But that was the first bit of news that kind of got Panther Nation in uproar. And this right here was the kind of the straw that broke the camel's back and just pushed 75% of the fan base over the cliff on Monday. And Milton Williams, okay, Milton Williams. Earlier on Monday, there were reports that Panthers were finalizing a deal for Milton Williams. It was supposed to be for $20 million a year. Okay. Everybody was happy. I was happy. I was listening to Black Cat Panther podcast. Shout out to Q Goat, Poppin, Logic, MDJ, all the guys over there. Um, Jalen as well. Shout out about Jalen. But I was listening to them. They were talking about it. They were kind of happy about it as well. And then all of a sudden, it's like everybody started reporting. Hold on, wait a minute. It's not a done deal yet. It's not a done deal yet. Another team is swooping in at the last minute and negotiating with Williams, and that team turned out to be the New England Patriots. So it was reported that the Panthers offered him, $20 million a year. The Patriots offered him 26, and he took that, and he's on his way up to New England. Okay, $26 million. I think it's a don't get me wrong. I think it's okay, $26 million a year, 60 million guaranteed. I can't remember the total number of the whole contract number, but $60 million guaranteed. I think it might have been $100 million. That is more than what the Panthers guaranteed Derek Brown. The $26 million a year would be more than what Derek Brown is getting. I think he's getting 24. And that $60 million in guaranteed money is up there with Chris Jones, and also more than the Raiders gave Christian Wilkins his recent contract that he got. Okay. This right here sent Panther Nation into a complete tizzy. Everybody was hollering and screaming. And then, of course, fire Dan Morgan. Fire Dan Morgan. Damn it, Dan Morgan. You go to the table, you gotta be able to get the deal done. You make the deal. You don't allow New England to come in and swoop in and do this and do that. And I'm just like, I even put out a tweet. I was like, yo, Panther Nation, like, chill out. Like, y'all sound like a bunch of spoiled toddlers right now. Like, I can't get my way. I can't get this. I can't get that. When. Me personally, what I think happened is they offered him what they offered him, and I think they had a set number. That's what they offered him. And then New England came in, swooped in, and New England got money for days. New England has money for days. If I ain't mistaken, New England has $760 million in cap space. Y'all know I'm just joking. They got a lot of money. They can throw a lot of money around. Okay. I also think that I also think that they said it was leaked. Okay. Now I heard a lot of people say maybe Milton's camp leaked the information out and kind of used the Panthers as a kind of a stepping stone to see what because the Panthers was supposed to be real aggressive trying to get this guy in here. Now they may have used us as a stepping stone to see what other teams were willing to pay, and then the Patriots swooped in at the last minute and was like, 20 million. Oh, okay. Go ahead and bump that up about six and see what he say. And of course, they said, yeah, come on up to New England. So that's what happened. But like I said, the fallout from that on Monday was wild. I mean, absolutely wild. Like I said, that's right after I forgot whoever my man name was before, but he changed his Twitter name to Spam Morgan. And he has been on a tear, an absolute tear ever since. I mean, ever since. So we'll see. But yeah, so that was the big drama for Monday. Milton Williams was it seems like he was almost a Panther, but at the last second, New England came in, you know, uh saw the bag that we had. They backed the truck up and threw about 10 more bags at him and said, "Welcome to the Patriots." Hey, you know what? It is what it is. All right. Let me see. It's just more contract. I'm not contract. Comments. Sorry, y'all. Mr. Hunky Dory said, Dowdle to the Panthers. He had 149 yards rushing in Carolina in December. Yeah, okay. All right. I knew he came in here and had a day against. What's going on, SC Pace? He says, CJ, we now have the best running game in the NFC. You think so? So we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. I ain't gonna crown it that just yet. But I'm not mad at Rico Dowdle coming to Carolina. I ain't gonna crown it the best running back uh group in the NFC just yet. And don't ask me who I think it is, because y'all gonna have me try and do things off the top of my brain. Slick Vic, what's going on, man? How you doing? SC Pace, we are going to run this. Yeah, we are going to run. We are definitely going to run. Hey, what's up, Car? How you doing, man? What's going on with you? Chaos Gaming. Milton is not good against the run. You know what? I saw that. I saw that. Now, I'm gonna bring PFF up in a little bit of my slides. Well, some of my slides. And PFF is kind of take it or leave it for everybody. Some people swear by it. It's funny. A lot of people don't give a damn about PFF if it's somebody they like. Okay, if it's somebody they like and they see some good PFF numbers, oh my goodness, PFF says this, PFF says that. If it's somebody they don't give a damn about, oh, don't. No, I'm sorry. No, I had that backwards. If it's somebody that they like, they don't care about PFF. They don't care what numbers on PFF. I like this person. PFF can go to hell. But now, if it's somebody that they don't like, all of a sudden PFF is the king of everything. You gotta listen to PFF. Gotta listen to PFF. So like I say, take it how you want with PFF numbers. But I did see that his pass grade was like a 90 point something. So that was, well above average. It was out off the charts. But his running grade was definitely in that orangish reddish color that we know is not good on PFF. Like Vic said, Panthers Twitter is so toxic, ain't it? It's so toxic, but it's hilarious too. Like, it's one of them things, like you're sitting there watching reels, and it's like, damn it, I got to go to bed. Let me cut this off. And then by the time you realize that you done went through about 7 to 8 more reels, yeah, that's how Panthers Twitter is. It's toxic as hell. But when it gets to going, I just can't not watch it. See, Hunky Dory laugh. SC Pace said, running back duo. I got you. I got you. Let's see. Rory Blake on AG on agent. How you doing, Rory? Good with you. Sorry, aging. My bad. Terrible with my words. All right, but yeah, but that was Milton Williams. Okay. Um, Mr. Stony Loney. How you doing? Yeah, Rico Dowdle. Rico Dowdle from the Cowboy. Signed from what I'm hearing in the chat, signed a 1 year deal. I haven't seen it yet, so I don't know, but it's a 1 year deal. See, Shane H1 Wharton the same. Folks saying he'll be on passing downs. You know what? I agree. I agree. And you'll see his PFF run grade here in a second. Yep. All right. So that was Milton Williams, the move that sent, the Panthers fan base, crying, jumping off of cliffs, turning their cars over in the driveways, throwing all the milk out, throwing eggs everywhere. I mean, just went to hell on Monday. But like I said, it was fun to watch. All right. Now, after that, Trayvon Morick. I think the Panthers signed him right after this whole debacle with Milton Williams. Um Slick Vic said 1 year 6.25. Thank you, Slick Vic. Yeah. 1 year 6.25 mil for Rico Dowdle. All right, what's going on, Nate? They said Gamecocks are taking over. Hey, let me tell you, mind you, I might talk a little trash about them while they in college, but once they get to the pros, hey, okay, look, come on in and help us out. Come on in. Okay, so I got this one titled Secondary Help. Now, the one thing that sticks out about Mr. Moore here is you see his run defense grade from PFF, 87.5. Pass rush grade, 70.1. He's an overall 67.5. But one thing that's going to stick out to people is all the way to the right there, that coverage grade of 54.4. And I saw a lot of people on Twitter bringing this up, and they're like, "Oh my God, this is what y'all are so excited about," you know. But the crazy thing was another player, Javon Holland from Miami. He got Maury here. A lot of people were hollering, "Okay, you know what, Dan? If you can bring in Javon Holland as well, we'll forgive you." This, that, and the third. If you go look at Javon Holland stats, his coverage grade isn't any better. If I'm not mistaken, it might be a point or two worse than this right here, right? And from the clips that I've seen, he is an instinctive um, player as far as getting to the line of scrimmage. He's good in the box. He can come up. He's a tackler, ladies and gentlemen. He's a tackler. Something that we sorely need here in Carolina is a tackler. I haven't watched a whole lot of tape since we have signed him, officially signed him today. But since they've agreed terms, I haven't watched a whole lot of tape. Well, not much at all. But you know, we'll see. Like I said, um, take PFF for a grain of salt. Like I said, some people swear by it, some people care about it, but like I said, I think it depends on whether you like a player or not. But the top safety in free agency, Javon Holland, his grade wasn't much better than this. It was 50 something as well. I just don't remember if it was above this 54.4 or below it. Okay. But he seems right here, Trevon Moore, he seems like an instinctive safety. Hopefully, he has a lot better hands than Xavier Woods. If y'all didn't know, Xavier Woods signed a 2-year deal with the Titans. I wish him well, except for if they have to play us. Other than that, I wish. All right, but we do have a safety, and that was one of the needs that we had going into this off season because we only had one safety on the roster. That was Demani Richards. Xavier Woods, Jordan Fuller, Nick Scott, all free agent. Woods is definitely not coming back. I don't believe Fuller and Scott are, but we know Woods is going to another team. Is definitely this right. But yeah, but I know this was a favorite for a lot of people, and they were saying that if we didn't get Holland from Miami, they want the Panthers to go after or I applaud the Panthers. I applaud them. 3 years, $51 million deal, and like I said about the rest of them, we'll see. And everybody also is. I keep seeing tweets and stuff on X about I thought the Panthers didn't have any money. Okay, for a lot of these players, it's all about that first year of the contract. Okay, because a lot of these contracts they really kick in that really really good money second year going down the road. Okay, so a lot of these players get base salary, signing bonus, let me see, workout bonus or something like that. But it's usually a lot less than that number the next year. Like JC Horn, his hit is $7.3 million this year, and then next year it jumps all the way up to 23 million. Then it goes to 22, 28, and 30 last year of his contract. Okay. Now, like I said, that is how they are maneuvering and doing a lot of this stuff. And people are like, well, I thought we didn't have any money. How are we signing these people? This is how we're signing these. Okay. All right. Let me comment. SC Pace said Evero can't make this defense better than man. And I posed that same question. I joined uh PPP's podcast, Panthers Prime podcast. Y'all haven't, go check out Prime. And I was talking to the guys in there for a little bit as we were waiting on some pizza to be delivered here at the house. And I asked them, I was like, now if with what they've done in free agency so far, plus what they may do in the draft, if Panthers defense comes out and can't do anything, or we're still looking, hopefully not as bad, but if we're still close to how we looked last year, do you think it's more so the scheme or more so Evero? There was two different, answers that somebody thought it's all on the scheme. Somebody else said, it's probably Evra. It was like the scheme works because it's kind of based off of the scheme that Philly run. Like the scheme works, but somebody said Evero has these tendencies, and it's like he's stubborn out there. And and like I've been saying all of last season, one thing that burnt me up watching the Panthers play defense is 3rd down and 3, and the corners are all 10 to 12 yards off of the receiver. It's like adjustment. Like I get that you don't want to get beat deep, but as I always told me and my cousin Tony, I always told him, I said, damn, cuz I said, me and you could get out there, and I mean, shoot, you could hike the ball to me, a cornerback 10, 15 yards out. I said, I think hell, me and you could get a yard. I said, I can get the ball out to you quick enough. You get the ball out to me, but that was one of the things that always burned me up last year. But it just seems like adjustments. He was stubborn. That prevent defense. Yeah, but that's a whole nother thing for a whole nother video. Yeah, but I do agree though. If Evero can't, you know, and a lot of people were like, I heard some people, oh, we need to be a top 10 defense. No, we don't. No, we don't. It would trust me. I would welcome a top 10 defense any day of the week, but we just need to be. We need to be average. If we can be a top 15, I say even like 16, 17 defense, I would take that. I would take that. I think a top 15 defense somewhere just in the middle, it's average, would have won us probably about 4 or 5 more games left. Okay. But we'll see. Right. It said no Eddie on my team. What's up, CJ? What's up, Nikari? My audio is low. Okay. All right. Turn it up a little bit. Y'all let me know if that's better. You see, I just saw X. He gonna be all right. Oh, so it cut your levels. Okay, hold on. Give me 1 second. Give me a second. Audio. All right. Is that any better, y'all? I do apologize. I'm bad. Mr. Hunky Dory said Eddie P got signed to the line stock team for 50 hours. How about that in the car? Is that better? Let me know if that's better. Okay, I got the yes from the misses across the hall. Okay, gotcha. Let me see. Shane One says some damn good tape on Trevon Red Zone coverage. Just saying. Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. Wouldn't doubt it. QJ, what's going on, dog? He said D Boogie Moore going off in free agency. Hey man, don't say that too loud. They gonna send the boys to your house to get you. Hey, PPP, what's going on, man? How you doing? I don't know if you busy or not, man, but the link is in the pinned up in the chat there if you want to join me, dog. Let me see. Oh, Dustin, man, Dan, Dan done did it again. Must be talking about Rico. Or if you're not talking about Rico, let me know who you're talking about, dog. David Gore, what's going on? How you doing? The car says slightly, but not really. Perfect. Okay, got you. He said, "Did you see Buddy mad that we didn't get Van Lathan?" Oh, it was it the same dude, Spam Morgan? Is that the guy you talking about? Because like I said, he's been mad for 2.5 days. Everybody is trash to him. But yeah, but no, I didn't see anything on Van Lathan though. I saw a lot of people mention Van Jefferson because the receivers are coming off the board. Um, and I've seen people like Elijah Moore. Who was another one I saw on that list? DeAndre Hopkins is gone. Let's see. Prime. What's going on, man? How you doing? All right. I can still hear you, Prime. You when you get ready, just let me know and I'll bring you back up. But yeah, a lot of receivers are coming off. I keep hearing people talking about, Amari Cooper. Nakari asked me earlier if I wanted Trey Hendrickson or T. Higgins. I'm not even gonna lie. I said I would take T. Higgins right now for the simple fact of our great need for a pass did I say T? I meant Trey Hendricks. I would take him for our, just great need for a pass rusher right now. Because that's another thing that they didn't really address that much in free agency. We did get one outside linebacker in here, but we'll talk about him in a second here too. Uh what's going on, Mr. Leggett? How you doing?
What's up? What's up? How are you?
I'm doing good, man. Doing good. Chilling. Talking Panthers free agency. What you think about Mr. Maury here?
I think it's a good pickup. It's kind of sad that it happened after the whole Milton thing
Yeah.
because fan base was going crazy. But I think it's a good pickup. I think it probably serves us better to
Mm,
have all of these players that we have instead of frankly overpaying Milton Williams. I'm sure
yeah.
he would be great beside a DB, but we
Hmm.
got so many holes we can't spend that much.
Yeah. I agree. I completely agree. Completely. All right. Let's go ahead and move on. Pat Jones the second, and this was the play I was talking about when I said the Panthers, um, you know, sort of addressed edge rusher in free agency. If you look at the PFF grade down there, his run defense is really the thing that stands out here. His pass rush grade 50.7, overall 55.8. I seen a lot of people say like, what are we doing? We this is DJ Wanham all over again. But from some of the tape I've seen, he's very strong. He has some decent moves, but this was kind of his quote unquote breakout season. I don't know if he can come here and develop. I hope that's the plan. But I think he will probably be a rotational piece, not somebody that's going to be in every down, in every situation. Kind of the situation that we were forced into this year, because we just didn't have any damn body. Yeah, everybody was hurt on the defensive line. So we were left with Ashawn Robinson, who, not talking no junk about Ashawn Robinson. I think he did good, especially later on in the year. But you didn't have a Derek Brown, and you're relying on Shy Tuttle, LeBron Ray, Deshaun Williams, and whoever the cast was. I might have forgot some. But what you think about Mr. Jones in the car?
I don't have much thought about Mr. Jones, but I do have a thought about the fan base. How people are saying it's
Mm.
DJ Wanham all over again. I'm so tired of this fan base because when DJ Wanham came back, we had a little bit of something. We started with 0%, pass rush, and then we had
Mhm.
like 1.5%. Wanham did come in and increase the activity of the defense. So I'm just sick of this fan base always crying about everything. And I know it's
Mhm.
not everybody, and I know it's not a lot of people who watch this podcast, but it's just tiring, man. The off season
It,
is more tiring than the regular season.
it is. It really is. But like I said though, it's like when you get going on a good string of reels, it's like you can't put it down. As much as I'll be like, God, I gotta get off of this. 5 minutes later, I'm like, okay, what they saying now? But yeah, but
Yeah.
I do think that Pat Jones is going to be a rotational piece, and that's not necessarily a bad thing because in my opinion, that's something we were sorely lacking. You know, last year. We had, because the injuries killed us. We were relying on people we were signing off the street, week in and week out. So hopefully they can all stay healthy. And like I said, Pat
Hmm.
Jones seems like he'll be a player to come in on, a obvious running situation. Somebody who might be able to set that edge a little bit better than a DJ Warner. Maybe you put him in with the Jadavian Clowney in certain situations.
Anything to keep Evero adopted son on the bench or even better off the team. DJ
Which
Johnson.
one? DJ. Hey, that's his adopted son because that's the only reason he
That's
was
the only
picked.
reason he on this team. I bet you he got a room at his house. I bet you.
Yo, that is why I'm. Hey, to this day, when they said we are drafting DJ Johnson, I wish I had the Snoop meme right now. That's like, who? Bruh, I was like, wait, okay. And then when they're like, yeah, we kind of panicked. We kind of panicked, and all the defensive ends were coming off the board, and and we just had to trade up and get. Really? Come on now.
Looking at Scott Fitterer, I don't know why we ever thought that he could make a draft pick.
So, bro, I, I don't know. I don't know. But and what I'm thinking too is, now Evero did have some input, and he does have some input in these draft decisions. I mean, he
Yeah,
is the
I mean, he
defensive
was happy.
coordinator.
He did a Tiger Woods fist pump.
Yeah, but you know what though? I wonder if DJ Johnson is a situation where he would probably be better off with
No,
another team and another scheme.
he would be
Oh,
better off in another career.
oh, okay, all right. Well, cool. Well, cool. What's what's going on, Earl? How you doing? Oh, Mr. Hunky Dory talking to Mr. Earl here too. Okay, cool, cool, cool. All right. Now, but like I said, Pat Jones, he's a free agent linebacker now with the Carolina Pack. I about to say Carolina Packers. The Carolina Panthers. He signed a 2-year, $20 million deal. And in 2024, he had 7 sacks and 12 QB hits. All right. Okay. Now, this one here, this one is the one where I sat and I was like, bet. Okay, I really like this one. Bobby Brown the third. Let me tell you, we've had Michael Jordan. We currently have Bobby Brown and Michael Jackson on the team. It's funny because I think Bash Child with Carolina Blitz was like, I wonder who we gonna have next year. So we've had a lot
I
of
mean,
stars
this
on
year
this
we could get
team.
a Prince. We get Prince, Princely.
Oh, now that would be crazy. That would be crazy. But Bobby Brown the third, free agent, defensive tackle. He came over from the Rams. He signed a 3-year, $21 million deal. And I got right here, true nose tackle. True nose tackle. Um, Something that I have been screaming and hollering for the Panthers to bring in for God knows how long. Okay. When we signed Shy Tuttle, I was like, okay, cool. I like Shy Tuttle. I think he did good when he was in New Orleans. See how this go. I've said this before. I'm gonna stick by this. I think Shy Tuttle. A lot of people disagree with me. I think Shy Tuttle is a player that's in the wrong scheme. I think he is more suited for a 4-3 defense, playing that other defensive tackle spot. But he is not suited to play nose tackle. I'm not even gonna bring up his PFF numbers. Half of them are in like deep red. They down in like the 40. So and that's his run stopping grade, run defense grade.
I ain't got no
But
evidence to back this up, but
mhm.
it feel like when we on the goal line, it feel like Shy Tuttle actually makes plays on the goal line. I can remember at least 2 or 3 times where he did a little something on the goal line, but that's like the only location.
Yeah, yeah, but I feel you, but it's just like, damn, we got to do something, before we get all the way down to the damn goal line. But with him anchoring the defense, like I said, it was between him, Brian Ray, then I think Jaden Crumby came back for a little bit later on in the season. So it
Hmm.
was just it was just a rotation of very poor um defensive tackle play. But get Bobby Brown on. I bring up. Okay, Bobby Brown, 6'4", 325 pounds. Went to Texas A&M, and he just came over from the Rams. Um, his stats do not jump out at you, at all. But I don't need them to. Okay. I keep bringing this guy up, and I'm gonna keep bringing this guy up. Hopefully, this guy right here, Bobby Brown, will kind of replicate that. But we need him to be like a Vita Vea type. Okay. Now, mind you, Vita Vea will get to the quarterback every now and then, but I don't care if Bobby Brown doesn't have a crap ton of tackles or if he doesn't get a crap ton of sacks or whatever. We need Bobby Brown to be a anchor at nose tackle on this defense. We need him to hold up. We need him to take on double teams so that a Derek Brown, a Sean Robinson, whoever's on the other side of him, and our outside linebackers, Clowney, Wanham, Jones that we just picked up, hopefully somebody we pick up in the draft, you know, he takes up space in the middle, and it helps free up some of these other guys come in there and do their thing. When you got, I mean, I hate to say this, but I mean, it's almost like a tight end could go in there and block them Shy Tuttle and all them other guys that we had playing defense tag. It's just what it seemed. It's really what it seemed like. The play was just terrible. It was absolutely terrible. But we'll see. But he had a let me see, 63.3 overall PFF grade, 56.5 rush grade, rush pass rush grade, and a run defense grade of 67.7. All right. What you think about Mr. Brown, the car?
I just want him to, do his best with every little step he takes. Just want his prerogative to be, setting the front edge. Is not That's not a thing. Just play the nose, be nose, do what you got to do, help us stop the run. That's it. That's all we need.
Okay, I got you. I got you.
The
Hey,
bar is
Prime,
in hell. Oh, go ahead.
who?
I said the bar is in hell. Like all he got to do is tie his shoes
Yeah.
right, and he better than Shy Tyler.
Yeah. But and you know, and you gotta think that's probably one of the reasons why he came here. I'm pretty sure they're like, hey, you're gonna come in, you're gonna be our starter, you're gonna get playing time off the rip. I can't remember what scheme the Rams run. I don't know if it was 4-3 or 3-4. But he is competing with what's a man named Fisk. That came
Hmm.
out of Florida State. So, he definitely got opportunity to come over here and start, off the rip. Hey Prime, I saw you down there. And I saw you shaking your head. So I don't know if you want to try again later or whatnot, but we'll still be here. But appreciate you trying to come up though. I appreciate it. Miss Unky Dory said Bobby and Xavier sound like cousins. Bobby from Bryce, Mississippi, population 500. So sound like where I'm from. He
Zay
said,
outside riding horses.
uh,
That's
yo,
all
you know,
he. That's all he did since he got home.
I've seen so many tweets and videos about that. It is hilarious. Sunky Dory said PPP good pods lately, really long but entertaining. Hey, let me tell you about Prime, man. Hey, Prime been doing marathon podcasts. Um, Prime went live yesterday. I want to say before I got up. I went to worked the whole shift. Came home, picked up my mother-in-law, went to my son's volleyball game, came back here to the house, did a couple things around the house, popped out here in the shed, turned the computer on, turned the TV on. Prime is live, and I looked at the thing, and he he was live that entire time. So shout out to PPP, man. Y'all go check him out. But yeah, we gonna start have to call him the marathon man because he has been out here podcasting. I mean, like all day, every day. Yeah, but shout out to you. Okay. But Bobby Brown the third, hopefully what will be our true nose tackle here in Carolina. And I just want to say real quick, hey, shout out to everybody that's joining me. We got 44 on YouTube, 174 on a
Oh,
good
you
old
doing big
Twix.
numbers.
Hey, I appreciate it. 174 watching us over there good on Twix. And if you haven't heard me say that before, Twix, that's a mixture of Twitter and X. But like I said, I appreciate all the love and support. And if you haven't already, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button on YouTube and give me a follow over on Twix. I appreciate everybody that is watching. And thank you. All right. So let's see, get one more comment here. SC Pay said Prime out here bringing the entire Game of Thrones series. He been by so long. Yo, let me say, everybody ain't watched Game of Thrones. That is long. I had knee surgery some years back, and I was out for about 3-4 months. And I had never heard of Game of Thrones. And I was just trying to watch, find something to watch while I was stuck on the couch. Ended up watching the whole series. Love the damn thing. But yeah, Prime, you can probably play a full season in a couple episodes. While you watching some of Prime's live. That's how long he be live. Doug said, so don't mess up in front of the big audience. Hey, let me tell you, I mess up all the time, Doug. Hey, I've accepted it now. Y'all gonna hear me say something stupid. Y'all gonna hear me mispronounce a name. I got this lisp now that I keep hearing every time I say so. I'm pretty sure y'all hear it too. I didn't hear it until I started this damn channel. But yeah, I'm gonna be messing up, dog. But it's part of it, dog.
I ain't know it's that many people watching. I didn't trash like 3 different plays.
It's all good in the car. It's all good. Raven 76 B more, what's going on? It says salute, passion through and dropping a like on the video. I'm on. Hey, thank you. Appreciate you. I hope you enjoyed the time that you were here. Miss Hunky Dory said Game of Thrones was pretty darn. It was. It was. The last episode left a little to the imagination, but overall, I was impressed. What's the new one? House of the Dragon. I like it too, but it just seems like it takes so long to make a new season. You know, it's almost like waiting for these Final Fantasy VII remakes. If you're a gamer like I am, Doug over here laughing. My wife said LOL, but I still love him. Yeah, I appreciate you, dear. I appreciate it. He said, nah, show your true colors, Nakari.
Hey, shout out to Doug, man.
Yes, sir. Hey, yes. Oh, and you know what? Man, let me tell you. I'm sitting here. I am tripping again. You know what, Doug? I got the graphic and I will show it when I before we get out of here. I don't have it right here on this setup that I'm on right now. But Doug knows what I'm talking about. All right. But yeah, but shout out to Doug over at What's Up Doug. If y'all haven't, please go check What's Up Doug out as well. All right. Now let's move on to Tershawn Wharton. Okay. Free agent defensive tackle came over from the Kansas City Chiefs. 3 years, $54 million. Okay. Another player where last year was kind of his breakout year, in a sense. He had 7 sacks, 33 total pressures. His oh, there you go. Wait for him to finish stretching. See Douglas, what's going on, buddy?
He ain't stretching. He's trying to see what that smell is.
Nah, I've been driving. I've been driving, man. I am back in Texas. Like you got jokes, sir.
Hey, but Doug, that was a good one, dog. Well, let me let you have the floor, man. Go ahead and give us a quick recap so far. Let me know if you want me to go back a few slides or anything.
Nah,
Just
I was
just give
coming
me
to
your
mess
thoughts and
with you.
opinion.
I just come to mess with you. Hey, I can talk junk now. You already know what I'm talking about. You got
I
one
know
more
what you're
time to
talking
mess
about.
up. You got one
I
more
I,
time to mess up, and I'm a let loose. And look, all the gates of
go
hell is
ahead.
gonna come. No, you got one more
See
time. One
CJ
more.
Big Bro. I'm like 11 years older than you.
Hey,
What are you
what, what's
talking about?
what's going what's going on, Nakari? Nah, like I said, man, I just came to mess with you. I just made it back home. I literally just said earlier today that Carolina's gonna sign a running back, and lo and behold,
Mhm.
I said Rico Dow's name, and it's like
Yeah.
it's crazy because a lot of people in Dallas have been waiting for him to get re-signed for them to have a 1-2 punch. Um, Javante Williams and Rico Dow, but now he's
Mm-hmm.
gone and he's in Carolina. So I mean, again,
Hey,
I
real quick,
laugh.
Doug. Am I saying his name? Is it Dow or Dowdle? I've been
Rico
saying
Dow.
Dowdle. Oh, I've been I've been messing. Okay, Dow. My bad. I don't know where I've been adding that extra letter in there. Okay,
So
I
continue, ma'am.
mean,
I'm sorry.
you forgive him. He a cow. Well, he was a cowboy. Well, we don't pay attention to
I got
them.
I got to get it right now though.
Yeah, he not the ops no more.
look, like for me, I would say this. I hear all these and I see all these tweets. People are just crucifying. And yes, I'm gonna use the word crucifying. I hate using it,
Mm,
but people were crucifying Dan Morgan the other day. Now everybody's saying, "Oh, Dan Morgan's doing this, and that. He's doing great." For me, like I tell everybody, and I think Nakari the one that said something. So I'm glad Nakari up there because he can see my face. He tried to call me out and say, not the man that's telling everybody patience that he's getting upset that Dan Morgan hasn't did anything. No, what I'm getting at is it was just more of it's almost like the kid poking the dog to move. Like I need to see something. I wasn't gonna rush and have a decision about it, but everything Dan Morgan wanted to do, players that people wanted Dan Morgan to sign, we have finally signed. Um, Behind the scenes, the car, I know how to get in contact with you, but I would tell DJ, I just got a call from somebody that something's in the works. And if that
mm,
happens, I think a lot of people are gonna blow their gasket. When I say
mm,
they're gonna blow their gasket, it's
yeah.
gonna it's gonna be wild. But
Yeah.
um
Sound like what Buddy on X talking about.
yeah, 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 but
I
it's some heat behind it. It's don't say
we
it's some heat behind it though. It's
yeah.
some
I was gonna say
serious heat.
we
Mm.
might be thinking about the same person. I can't remember the name, but it's somebody
We
just
is.
getting straight crucified on X Day. I use your word, Doug. I'm sorry, but he was
No,
getting
no,
straight
you fine.
trash today. why you keep leaking this? Why you keep saying this? If you ain't got no information, just shut up. If you got something, just say it. I'm just like, oh, again, I go back to the, I'm just saying like, damn, I need to get off of here, but this getting good. But I think we're talking about the same person. I think so.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, it's gonna be interesting though. But again, for me, we have to take this as with a grain of salt because again, we were happy with
Mm-hmm.
Miles Sanders and not put.
Sure.
I'm not gonna put that voodoo or bad juju on Rico at all. But for me, I definitely think we finally have a one-two punch. I'll
Mm-hmm.
leave it at that. But the defensive signings, love it. Again, a 3-for-1 special. I ain't gonna say everything because I know we're going live tomorrow, CJ. But the three for
Yeah.
one special, I love. Again, I'd rather have three players that can make up for one in different scenarios. So other than that,
Yeah.
man, like I said, Dan Morgan has been cooking. We've been using that let Dan cook since last year. He did it with the offensive line. He did it again this year. I think the only hiccup that he cannot have a hiccup in is the draft. But I don't blame him totally on the draft because we did have bad scouts last year. So
Yeah. I feel you. But when it comes to the draft though, I need, whatever first round pick has to hit. Second round pick has to hit. Our
mhm.
third round pick has to hit.
You got
Going
two thirds. Isn't it two
no, we
thirds
got
or is it one third?
two fourths, one third, and
Okay,
then
two
two fourths,
fourths. Okay.
I thought
two
we had.
fourths.
We
Okay.
ain't got three. I thought we had
Three
three for
fifths.
us.
We
Yeah,
got
Oh,
three
that's
three
fifths.
it's
fifths.
okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
It's
we
all that
got
trading
first,
I've been doing.
second,
That's the reason
yeah,
why.
first, second, third, two fourths, three fifths, and a seventh round pick. All right. But I guarantee you, I can pretty much guarantee you that the way the draft order that we have now will not be, what it is when the draft is over. I'm sure we're going to make some moves, some trades, or something. It's just, I don't know exactly how many picks we're gonna end up with at the end of the night, but I'm pretty sure it won't be nine. It'll probably be less than nine, but I know we're not leaving out there with nine.
We gonna
But
end up
we'll
with
see.
6 first round picks.
That would be lovely. That would be lovely. Hey, making true money. What's going on, man? How you doing? Austin Wright, how you doing? What's going on? He said, "What's up, folks?" Let me see. He said we should have three. Okay, got you. Talking about the pick. Okay,
Hey CJ, I had to
yes,
come
sir.
show you in the car some love. Like I said, I just literally got off the road. I've been on the road since 10 this
Mm-hmm.
morning. So um I definitely had to just show y'all some love and then I'll be listening. But I'm about to unpack and I'm about to kick my feet up because I am tired. So
Make sure you
I
watch
get
behind your ears, bro.
it.
the car,
All
I'm gonna
right,
say
Doug.
I'm gonna say my comeback for tomorrow. I'm gonna say my comeback for tomorrow, okay?
I ain't showing up.
All right,
No,
Doug.
don't. Hold on, real quick, CJ. Let me say this. Don't show up, and I'm gonna add you, me, and CJ on X, and then we really gonna have it on and popping. But no,
I
I appreciate
mean,
you, CJ.
it is
Appreciate
what it
y'all.
All
Like
right,
I
is.
man.
said,
Anytime. All right,
all
man.
right.
Get you some rest, dog. All right. So Tershawn Wharton here. Okay. As you see, his like I said, he had 7 sacks last year, and I think that's including the playoffs. 33 total pressures. His overall grade was a 56.3, pass rush grade 68.3, and I do think that is his strength as far as what he brings to the Panthers. Run defense grade 44.3. Okay. Not that great at all when you're looking at PFF numbers. So we'll see how that goes. But I'm glad we're kind of, well, we're almost to the end of everybody that came in from other teams. We do have one more. But the defensive line acquisitions and the card, let me know if you agree or disagree with this. I think that the Panthers are in a better spot because we have a rotation now. Okay, we
Hmm.
have certain players for certain situations where it
And
was
that's
just
the
like
way they like to play too.
yeah. Because let me tell you, Davion Clowney was tired last year, dog. He was tired. He was tired. He was wore out. And I promise you, and I'm not saying just him. The whole defense was tired.
Nah,
There,
Clowney
there
was
was
extra tired.
yeah, there was a severe lack of depth on that defense, and it showed. I mean, they were on the field. Shoot, I would say hell more than 50% of the damn snaps of the entire snaps of the game.
I
You know,
mean, the
um,
DBs had plenty depth. They were about 15 yards off the line.
bro, let me tell you, hey, third down and two, and all the DBs are 17 yards back. But anyway,
If he
that's
do
another
that
rabbit hole.
this year, man,
I just want to see JC travel. I would just love to see JC travel, but I highly doubt that that's going to happen.
It
Highly
depends
doubt
on if we get one in the draft. I feel like if we get a CB that they confident in the draft, then he
it.
actually might travel.
We'll see. We'll see. That's like I said. That's another rabbit hole for another day. Um, but now mind you, Tershawn has shown a lot of flashes. Okay, a lot of
Hmm.
flashes. I think he's like 6'1", 280 if I'm not mistaken. Um, but he's strong, and in the clips that I've seen of him, he has good get off the line of scrimmage. He can get leverage. He can also take an offensive lineman and literally just toss him out the way. Okay, not on every play, but you get highlights people pick out and they want to show. Like I haven't watched a whole lot of tape on him since we agreed to terms with him, but again, I bring this up just like I do with Patrick Jones the second. Maybe this is the time where he can grow and develop in this scheme of Ejiro Evero. What do you
Hmm.
think about him?
Well, first off, look at his eyes. That is a man that
Mm,
only care about hitting the quarterback. That is
yeah, yeah.
he
Mm-hmm.
ready. But didn't he have a hit
Yeah.
on Bryce this year?
Um,
I think
you know,
he
I don't
Bryce
remember.
threw one to JT. I think it was
Mm-hmm.
that little floater ball. I moved my arm like you could see me, but I think it was a little floater to the sideline. Or JT had to go up and get it. I
mm.
think I think that was Wharton that was pressuring Bryce on that play.
Oh, okay. All right. Cool. 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 Yeah, I don't remember, but it's probably right. And then I saw recently where he caught a fan that fell out of the stands as they were going to the locker room, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm like the Panthers see this. I know they got to be like, yeah, we got to fix that, bro. Like that's
Yeah.
all over everywhere now. We gotta fix that. But yeah, but like I said, I think what you can take from these signings on the defensive line and the outside linebacker that we signed, I think the Panthers will now have a rotation, barring any injury. I'm gonna go ahead and pray for them all year long. They don't have any significant injuries, but barring any injuries, they got a rotation that they can go with now. Like I said, situational football, obvious passing situations. You're probably going to see Tershawn Wharton in there. Okay, obvious running situations. He's probably going to be out, and you're going to see Ashawn Robinson, somebody in there. You know what I mean? Or maybe it's a situation where you got Ashawn on one side and him on the other. Maybe Derek Brown's taking a breather. You know, something of that sort. Okay, but one thing they did do, they added a lot of depth on that offensive line, and again, like I said, I think we got a rotation that the Panthers can hopefully rely on this upcoming season, and hopefully it leads to this defense not being on the field so many damn snaps every game. Okay. And I did label this one starter because a lot of people believe, and I've seen a lot of depth charts that have been out that have him ahead of Ashawn Robinson at that other defensive end spot. So we'll see. I can't sit here and say yes or no yet. But, we'll see come training camp and preseason. You got anything to car? About to say something?
Not really. I think A Shine probably will start just because like how they did with David Moore.
Mm-hmm.
They just like continuity a whole lot. So I feel like
Yeah.
just because he's been here, he probably will start, but playing time gonna equal out.
Okay. Okay. Cool. All right, move on. Christian Roseboom. Okay. And this was one that popped up as I was sitting here probably about an hour or so before I went live. He's a free agent linebacker from the Rams. They signed a 1 year, $5 million deal. Last year he kind of blew up and then, towards the end of the season. 135 tackles, one sack, one interception. Now, if you look at the PFF grade, they're not that appealing. Overall grade 59, pass rush grade 52.5, run defense 58.4, coverage grade of 60.9. And like I said earlier, take PFF how you want it, take it with a grain of salt. Some people swear by it, some people only use it when it fits their narrative. But it's something to go by because like I said, I haven't watched any tape on this guy. I honestly I didn't even know who he was. All right. I did see somebody make a comment on X, and they said, "Is this Rose Boom guy any good?" And our new defensive tackle, Bobby Brown III, said, something to the effect of like he's a playmaker, a dog, or something. So we'll see.
I seen a bunch of Rams fans celebrating that he was gone.
Mm. Oh, okay. It might not be that good of a sign. But again, I always say this: scheme and the players fit. He may have been a
Hmm.
bad fit out there. He might possibly come over here and be a good fit. But I also saw a depth chart that was populated right before we went live, where somebody had him coming in and starting over Trevin Wallace. And all I could do was laugh, and I was like, "Yeah, nah, I don't think."
Nah,
I was like, "Nope, I don't think that's happening at all, at all."
if he
But we'll
start
see. Like,
over Trevin, just go ahead and fire Evero. Don't even let him coach the first game. Just you see that depth chart, just go ahead and
mm,
tell him to pack his stuff, get a box.
I got you. Hey, all right, making true money, man. Appreciate you stopping through, dog. I don't know. He might be already gone. Might be gone already. I just saw the comment. What's going on, Dig? How you doing, buddy? Said,
What's
what
up,
up?
dig it?
But yeah, but that's why I got this one titled Depth. Um, because like I said in my last live, Brant Tillis, they want to make sure that, like he was saying, they could go out and play a game the day before the draft. So they want to be set at every position as far as having, a full team. Now, mind you, they want to go in the draft and continue to add, quality players to the roster. But, we did have let me see, Dak Thompson got hurt last year. Trevin Wallace got hurt towards the end of the season. Josie Jewell was hurt at the beginning of the season. Okay. And then we had what's his name, Jacoby Windman, I think his name. I think his name. It came in and played good in the last couple of games of the season. But they're adding depth, they're adding pieces. Like I said, in one spot that they really, two spots really need to add some more to cornerback room, and we got to get another edge rusher or two. You know, I don't know if there's any more good ones left out here in free agency. I gotta go back and look at the list, but I definitely pray that they get one. But that is Christian Roseboom. They agreed to terms with him probably about an hour before I went live. 1 year, $2.5 million. All right. Okay, now I gave Brady his own slide. I know he is a returning Panther. He was an unrestricted free agent. Now, Nakari, I don't know about you, but this one right here threw me for a loop. I mean, a complete loop. I thought Brady Christensen was good as gone.
I
Let me tell
did
you,
too.
I thought he was in the water box at the Charlotte Drag Strip. Let me tell you, he was warming them tires up, but he got up in that box and them lights come on. I thought he was just waiting for the green and he was out. I thought there was no way in hell Brady Christensen would be back this year. And the crazy thing is, okay, so they signed him to a 1 year, $2.78 million deal that's fully guaranteed. But what they did, they treated this contract as a 4 year qualifier. Okay. I read that and then I said, hell is a 4 year qualifier. So I went and looked it up.
Yeah, I was
Now,
sitting here like, yep. I don't know what you're talking
hey, I had to go look it up. So a 4 year qualifier, if a player has been on the team for 4 years, okay, and they have been a part of the roster for every regular season and postseason game, whether they have been active or inactive, they qualify for this 4 year qualifier contract. A team can have two of them. Two of these contracts, they're allowed for two players. Now the thing is, his salary is $2.78 million, but he only counts one point. Hold on, let me bring this up here. He only counts 1 point. Let me go back to the screen share here. He only counts $1.3 million towards the cap. Okay, so a part of that 4 year qualified deal is you can pay him up to $1.5 million more than the league minimum as a part of this contract, but the Panthers cap is only hit with the base salary. And I was like, well, I'll be damned. So that's another $1 million and some change that the Panthers have to spend elsewhere. Okay. So now you see Grant Tillis and them guys, they're back behind the scenes, they're working, they're doing things. And like I said, they said they don't want to do this whole kicking the the can down the road thing anymore. But and it's like they're making some good moves. Like they're making some good moves. All right. Let me see. Diggy said BC is a bargain. Yeah, yeah, he sure is. Yep. He said in the car, could you lend CJ some of your volume? My volume's low again, y'all. I apologize. I apologize. Hold on. Let me see here. Okay. I will say I am using a different software tonight to stream my audio and video. So I hope this is a little better. I have this bad boy set as high as it will go. Okay. All right. But I apologize if y'all can't hear me. I'll work this out off camera here. Um but yeah, I don't know if that's any better. I'll turn my volume up as high as I can get it right now. But yeah, so back to Brady Christensen here. Now, if you look at his PFF grade from last year, overall 63.6, pass blocking grade 56.1, run blocking grade 70.7. All right. Now, Brady Christensen started the year off on the bench. All right. He was backup center and backup guard. He came in and played a couple games at guard when Damian Lewis was hurt. But then when Austin Corbett went down, he came in and played center. Okay. And you fast forward a little bit, um, Icky got hurt. I want to say he played was it Icky? Probably one of them got hurt, and K Mays came back and played center. And I think Brady played a couple snaps at left tackle one game. I do think Josh Nyman played that game, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was Bengals game or something like that. But Brady Christensen played all over the offensive line this past season, and that's why for me, I thought that there was absolutely no chance that he would be back, this year, especially especially
at
after
this
you see,
price.
yeah, at it. Thank you. At this price, I thought for the sheer flexibility that he has as an offensive lineman, you know, 1 year, $2.78 million. It's wild. And you look at Texas. I mean, sorry, look at Houston. Okay, the Texans, and they've traded two of their starting offensive linemen already. And I was sitting there like,
Mhm.
damn, Brady probably gonna be going down to Houston because they're gonna be looking, for offensive linemen.
And he
But
definitely would start there.
Yeah, but hey, Dan said they were going to do everything they can to keep the band together as far as the offensive line, and they have done just that. But it does make me think that they bring him back for 1 year at $2.78 million. Does that mean somebody's job is in jeopardy? Or can this be, linked to maybe Taylor Moton? Because the Panthers already said they're fine with him playing on his current contract. He's a $31 million hit to the cap. And them said they're cool with that. If I guess they're cool either way. If they can work out some kind of an extension, because I don't think they can restructure him anymore. They can work out some kind of an extension to have him here for a couple more years. Great. That would also help with the cap space for this year as well. But if this Brady Christensen being back, just say for some reason, Taylor Moton is not on the roster next year. Put Brady Christensen at right tackle. What you think, Nicole?
Um, I do think that it's kind of like insurance for Timo,
Mm-hmm.
but overall, I just think having all three of the linemen come back that were free agents, I think that says a lot about Canales and Morgan and the building just in general. Because
Mm-hmm.
you know, just like Jeremy Chin and Luvu, they was out of here.
Yeah.
They was gone. And we got
Yeah.
a lot of people that, want to come back. Tremble, Brady. So
Mm-hmm.
I think, this is a good sign just overall, especially when we thought Brady was gone for sure. Like he
Yeah.
definitely could have had way more money and a starting
Mm-hmm.
gig. But he came
Yeah.
back. He
Yeah.
wanted to be
Now,
here.
yeah. Now, and I had him on my maybe list. I had him on my maybe list, but he was definitely towards the maybe slash probably not coming back, and I was pretty damn sure that he wasn't coming back. Now I will say this too, um, yeah, Brady's is insurance across the entire line. Um, do you think that if for some strange reason, he may factor into the center position? Do you think they might have a battle between Corbett, Mays, and Brady here to start at center? Think that's
I,
a possibility?
I feel like Brady is more of the swing lineman, swing tackle.
Hmm.
We know Brady can play center, but I feel like he's the weakest center out of the three.
Okay,
And so I would like that center competition to be, Corbett and Cade.
gotcha. You know who would agree with you about Brady being the weakest link?
Tony.
Tony. Tony
Past
would
the
definitely agree
trenches.
with you. Past the trenches. He would definitely agree with you about Brady being the weakest link if that was a three-way battle for the center position. Yep, sure would. Hey, and Panthers experience, Uncle Quan, what's going on, big dog? How you doing, man?
What's up,
Appreciate you
Uncle
stopping
Klein?
through. If y'all haven't already, make sure you go over to the Panthers experience, Uncle Quan. Like his channel, sub, all that good stuff. Great content over there. Good friend too. All right. Okay,
Hopefully
so
Yash Nyman is gone. That's my hope.
you know what? I was thinking about that as well. Um, when he filled in for Icky, I think Icky was out 2 games this season. When he filled in, he did okay. It might have been 1 game. I know it was at least one. Might have been two. But him and Icky had a bad day against the Cowboys. A bad day.
Yeah, that
They
was a
they
terrible
they
game.
Yeah, they got turned every which way but loose from Michael Parsons and hell whoever else was on the damn defense except for Dallas. Yeah, that was a bad game. But now Yash Nyman is another candidate if he is released that will save the Panthers. I think a little over $3 million. Let me see, a little over $3 million in cap space.
Hmm.
Now that's also something you got to keep in the back of your head is like it's a possibility because I always like to say you never know. All right, I don't like to say this is this is that because an example right here, you never know. I would never thought Brady Christensen would be a Carolina Panther.
I'm gonna say it. We need that 3 million when it come time to get T on this roster. We need that 3 million for that.
Hey, every little bit helps. Every little bit helps.
Every
All
little
right, so
bit, every little step. Bobby
yes, sir.
Brown. I ain't gonna be able to start doing it.
I know you not. You gonna have me doing it too.
Get ready
Okay.
for the
Now,
commentators to do it.
let
Except
me
for
tell you.
dude from the Saints. I can't think of his name right now. I wish
Mm,
he would quit. The
I don't know what you're talking about.
black dude on Fox. He root against us every time he on the broadcast. I can't think of his
Mm,
name. I'm gonna look it
I
up.
I got you. I can't either. All right. Now, getting back to some more Panthers from last year that are back, and these were some signings from last week. Austin Corbett is back. He signed a 1 year, $3 million deal. Now, the good thing about Austin Corbett's $3 million deal is the fact that he saved us a little bit of cap money as well. And let me pull Austin Corbett up here on.
Jonathan Vilma is what I was talking
Oh,
about.
Vilma, that's right. Okay. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, he played for the Saints for a while. Austin Corbett, okay? Now, if you look at his salary, he had a couple void years on his salary, and his void date for his contract was the 16th of February or the 17th. Now, before that came uh through, they pushed it back to Monday. Monday was the deadline, the new deadline. Now, when I saw that, that told me, okay, well, they are in, and they said this, they are actively working on the deal, to try and bring him back. He was another one that I didn't think the Panthers were going to bring back. A lot of people are throwing stuff out there like, or they're saying, why would you bring him back? He done had 3 ACL surgeries. I'm like, no, 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 folks. He had 1 ACL surgery, and then he did something to his MCL in that last game of the season against the Saints that year. And then this past season, he had a was it
A
a
peck, ain't it?
bicep. either a pec or a bicep, some kind of
No,
tear or strain, that was out for the season. That should be okay. But
yeah,
I hear a lot of
upper
people saying
body.
that, yeah, why would you bring it back? And he got three this and three that and whatever. But Mr. Hunky Dory said, explain the void year. Okay, so void years are years that they add to contracts to help spread out signing bonuses. Okay, so if you restructure a contract and you have somebody that has a base salary of say 20 something $1 million, and they agree with the team to try and help to help free up some cap space, you can take a portion of that base salary, turn it into a signing bonus, and spread it out over some voided years in the contract. Okay, so if you see a player in one of these situations, and they, you know what, let me bring up one. Let me bring up one right here, and I'll tell you. Taylor Moton. Look at all these void years he got down here. Okay. So that is a result of them taking his base salary, spreading it out into a signing bonus, and I'm sorry, putting it to a signing bonus and spreading it out. So you look at his contract, look at his base salary in 21, 22, 23. They're all like league minimum. Okay. Now I doubt that that first year may have been that part of his new contract, but I highly doubt 22 and 23 were a part of his contract as 1 million. Let's see, 1,035,000 and 1,080,000. So I think that those are part of restructures that they did, and they pushed that money down the line. That's when you hear them say kicking the can down the road. That's what a void year is. It's taking some money off of a year currently on the contract and spreading it out over those void years, so you can create some space in that current year as far as cap relief. All right. But yeah, but that's example of a void year there. But back to Austin Corbett. Now with his he would have had a cap hit of $7.7 million, I do believe, this offseason. $7.7 million. Now I don't know exactly how they did it. Okay, I'm still learning. I've always looked at contracts, okay, and I've always called myself the armchair GM, but I have been trying to take a deeper dive into these contracts, especially this offseason. I don't know exactly what they did, how they did it, but he has a base salary of $1.25 million this year, $4.2 million prorated signing bonus. He has a $1 million per game roster bonus, guaranteed salary of 1.25 million. So his cap hit is 5.8. So I think he saved us a little under $2 million in cap space. Because like I said, that cap hit this year would have been like I want to say $7.7 million. All right. But yeah, so that signing also helped us out, as well. Okay. But yeah, he was another one. He was another one I did not think would be back. Also Cade Mays. Now I hear a lot of people that are kind of not in on Cade Mays, but I think Cade Mays did a hell of a job last season. A hell of a job, and I was happy that he was back. Go ahead, Nicole.
If Cade is the week one starter, I would not be surprised.
Mm,
That's
yeah,
how good he was.
yeah,
And I think it's
and
gonna be a real true battle during a training camp. I don't think, Corbett gonna have to work for it.
yeah, yeah. I don't think he's going to because like I said, he's really on on what a 1 year prove it deal per se. And the thing is, I know me and Tony, we were kind of skeptical last year of him being moved to center, but my perspective, and I think I can speak for Big Cuz when I say we were pleasantly surprised with how he played last year at the center spot. Okay. And then like I said, Tony was never really a fan of Brady Christensen, and he didn't really like him when they moved him to center. But Austin Corbett was, to me, was a damn good center. He was a damn good anchor in the middle of that offensive line.
Hmm.
Um, but like I said, I think he's on a prove year because he has had three injuries in the last few years: a ACL, an MCL, and I think it's either a pec or a bicep tear or strain that he had last year that kept him out. Like I said, another kind of like one of them prove it year contracts. Um, Cade Mays, they tendered Cade Mays because he left the team. He went to the Giants practice squad. They brought him back, so they gave him a tender for a 6 round tender. Okay. So that contract is 1 year, $3.4 million. And I'm sure that, if he comes in and does what he did this past year and improves on that this year, he'll probably be in for a decent payday come next offseason. But, glad to have Corbett back. Glad to have Mays back as well. Let me see. Oh, Ms. Hunky said if we cut or trade, we still have to pay the void. Yes. Yes. If I'm not mistaken, yes, we do. Yep. Native says, CJ, we have to admit we are building team in Super Bowl in 3 years. Hey, let me tell you, I'm not going to agree with that right now, but I like the way it's going. And Nakari, tell me if I'm wrong. It seems like there is more thought and it's more thought being put into this offseason. It seems like to me the off seasons past, it was just like, this one, that one, that one, that one.
Panic,
Okay,
panic, panic.
cool. Yes, we've been in a state of panic in the off season for quite a while. But it's almost like they said, hey, you know what? Even last year, everybody hollers, oh, you spent $150 million on the. And the crazy thing is, everybody says that like the Panthers went out and spent $150 million last year on the offense. Okay,
Mhm.
now they're talking about Robert Hunt and Damian Lewis, who they gave Robert Hunt $100 million contract and Damian Lewis I think like a $54 million contract. So that's your 150 million. But and I'm not saying I'm not trying to question anybody's intelligence, but it sounds like people believe some people that oh my God they paid $150 million last year for these two guys on the offensive line when that's the total
Yeah,
amount of their contracts for the years that they're with the Panthers. Like I said, I don't want to question anybody's intelligence, but that seems how that comes off to me like that sometimes when I hear people talk about it, especially when you just reading what somebody's typing. Because we all talk sound different when we're on the online talk, just typing.
that's true.
Everybody sounds different. You know what I mean? And sometimes people get taken out of context. That's why I said I don't want to question anybody's intelligence, but that's what I get out of sometimes when I hear, not here, but when I see people commenting and talking about
Oh, I do it. I question anybody intelligence, but
that.
I think part of that is just we're the Panthers, and people already think we're a terrible organization.
Mm,
When I look at just like random podcasts, they're still talking about Tepper and everything. Tepper running the team, Tepper making the picks, Tepper doing
mm,
free agency. So a lot of people ain't really tapped into what we doing and how we operating. So anything that
yeah.
we do, they criticize it. I seen people criticizing the Moreg uh deal. They said we overpaid for him. I mean,
I heard that too.
we didn't. We got one safety. We needed
Yeah.
that. So like I don't take none of those things seriously. I believe in Dan Morgan. I personally I'm not afraid of hot takes. I feel like already, it's only year two, but I feel like, the top two GM that we've had in this franchise. That's just me.
Okay.
But like,
Yeah. Because
you know,
let me tell you, some folks would definitely disagree with you on that one, buddy.
I mean, folks would disagree with me on a lot of stuff. I ain't scared of it.
I hear you in the car.
But
I hear you.
I'm ready. I'm ready for the season. I'm ready for the draft. I'm excited.
Mm-hmm. I feel you. Shane H1 said, was Corbett really solid at center? He a guard. Yeah, he is a guard. He was very solid at guard. But then when Bradley Bozeman went to the Chargers, um, instead of, now mind you, I'm not even gonna lie, me and Tony was screaming and hollering
The
that
whole
off
off
season,
season.
the whole off season about drafting a center. Okay. My man named I forgot my man name that went to Duke. He's actually Tampa Bay center now. Cedric Van Pran, what's dude from Kansas State, Jackson Powers Johnson, I think it was. It was a lot of them.
He
It was
went
a
to Oregon,
lot
ain't
of
it?
them. Oh yeah, Oregon. There was another one from Kansas State, I do believe. But yeah, you're right. The other dude I was talking about was from Oregon. There was a lot of centers in last year's draft, and like I said, me and Tony were hollering and screaming like Carolina, get a center, get a center, get a center. But they decided to make Austin Corbett the center. Like I said, Now, it's just my opinion. I thought Austin Corbett held up damn good at the center spot until he had his season-ending injury.
He
Um,
definitely did.
yeah. Now, like I said, you ask that question to some other people, they'll probably tell you he wasn't worth a hill of beans. But like I said, everybody's entitled to their opinion. Okay.
I
But I
will
thought I
say
thought he did good.
your boy from Chapel Hill, Willie. You know, if he there in like
So,
the seventh round or undrafted,
uh-huh.
I'd take a flyer on him. The
What's
short
his last
dude,
name? Lampkins. Yeah, I said,
Lampkin.
shoot,
Yeah.
he about my height.
Hey, low man wins.
Hey, well, he's like 5'10", I believe, 5'10", 5'11". Yeah, I'm about
Yeah.
5'10", so but yeah.
Same.
But yeah, man. But yeah, I'm glad that Kay and Austin are back. Okay. And Mike Jackson. All right, Mike Jackson signed a 2-year, $14 million deal. And Tommy Tremble is back. Tommy Tremble signed a 2-year, $16 million deal. It was crazy. Trimble and Mike had a press conference earlier today, and Trimble was talking about how he went and bought his dad a new truck because his dad started like a car wash detail business, and I think his dad was going to buy some kind of truck, and trying to get something, trying to just to
Hmm.
find something to kind of do it with, as a lot of us country folk do, trying to find a bargain, not getting nothing too expensive.
Yeah.
And they went and found the truck for him and surprised him with his mom's help and all that. So they did that because they said his brother was also down there on spring break. His brother plays for Syracuse, and he said he got the news about the contract the very next day. Um, and then Mike Jackson, and it was crazy because Mike Jackson was, Mike Jackson sounds like he is so happy to be
He
back
really
in
did.
Carolina. Yeah, so happy. He said he told JC was like, whatever they offer me, if they offer me something, I'm coming back. He was like, I'm coming back. And he was telling a story about how, he was in New England, and he said he got cut twice on his wife's birthday,
Mm.
and they had to keep celebrating and all that. And then they somebody asked him, was he thinking about stuff outside of football? And he said he bought some land back home. And then I think it was David Newton. I seen a lot of people go kind of go after David Newton because David Newton asked him. He said, when's your wife's birthday? Where's this land at? And I think it was another question. A lot of people were like, yo, like David, like what in God's name is you doing? Like, leave that man alone. Don't ask that man all them damn questions. But now mind you, he answered him though. He answered him. He said back home in Alabama, he told him what his wife's name was. But yeah, David Newton caught some smoke today. Caught some smoke today
They
for
working for
asking
the
him a
feds
question.
with Ian Thomas.
And this is him coming off of catching the fade from Austin Corbett as well. Austin
Hmm.
Corbett basically told him to shut the hell up. Like, bro, you don't know nothing about us, man. You got to be in the damn locker room when this, that, and the third. And you out here telling people, I don't want to be here, this, that, and the third. Austin was like, man, get your shit straight, dog. Like, don't come up in here with that.
I didn't even know Austin had that in him. I was surprised when
Uh,
I seen that tweet.
but you know what though? It's different things trigger different people. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? I'm that type of person. I let a lot of stuff slide. My wife will tell you. My wife would be ready to cut somebody out, hit them with a 10-pound dumbbell, all kind of stuff, and I'm sitting there like, no, no, baby, just chill out. It's all right, But there's certain things where I'm just like, absolutely not. And for and I think it was for Austin Corbett. I This is my take on it. He felt like David Newton was probably taking his whole thing out of context and going out there and saying something to the people that he absolutely did not say. Because like I said, Austin Corbett came after him, and was like, "Look, bro, I did not say that. That is not what I said. Like, you think you got to have all this access to us, this, that, and the third, and you think you know us, and then you out here spitting this mess around." So yeah. Mm-hmm. Look, Nakari. Pardon me, sir.
That's why I was sitting here quiet. I'm like,
Yeah, she gonna get
don't
me as
play
soon
with
as I
that
get off this
lady.
live. She all right. She know I love her. Let me see. Miss Hunky Dory said Panthers offered DK 4 year, 120 million, a third and a fifth. Okay, I've been hearing it was a third and a sixth, but that sounds more plausible since we do have 3 5th round picks. Okay. He said, "Wow," and we got denied. Yeah.
He went
Hey,
to a team
DK.
with no quarterback.
Yeah, yeah, and it's funny, because all off season and most of the season, it's been the Bryce Young show. Okay, and I say that because I keep hearing a lot of people now. They said, "Damn, DK saw 4 years, $120 million from the Panthers, and said, "Who they quarterback? Bryce Young. All right, nah, I'm good. I'm gonna take my ass up 95 and go up here to Pittsburgh and go play for a team that ain't got no quarterback yet." And I'm just like, bro, I don't think that was the case.
Yeah.
He wanted that $30 million a year. Pittsburgh gave him that $30 million a year. Like I said, I DK would have been great in Carolina, but I still applaud Dan Morgan. Like I said, he has a plan, and he's sticking to his plan. He put his offer on the table, and if that was all that he was allocated to give him from what they came up with, him, Brant, whoever, I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it. So, but we'll see. But yeah, but Mike Jackson is back. Tommy Tremble is back, and I always joke with Doug and Tony, and I'll be like, Mike Jackson is cool. A lot of plays. We just gotta give him a safety over the top. Now we got the mind. Now we got Trevon Morgan there. So we'll see what happens. But I do hope either in the draft or maybe has anything happened with Jari Alexander Nicole from Green Bay? Have they done anything with him yet?
I don't know. I
Okay.
have no idea.
Y'all in the chat, if y'all know, let me know in the chat. I think it's a situation where they're trying to see, because I know the Rams released Cooper Cup today. I don't know if Jairi Alexander is. I think he's still in the contract. I think he's waiting to either traded or released or something. But I don't know if that's a situation where the Panthers might want to look into as well. But you know, I wouldn't mind. But like I said, the rest of free agency or the draft, cornerback is still a spot that I do want the Panthers to address. That and edge rush. Yeah. All right.
Oh,
But Mike
according
Jackson.
to according to
Mhm.
one of the Packers beat writers, they saying they trying to hold on to him and get something in a trade before releasing him.
Gotcha. Okay. I get that. Smart move by the Packers. Smart move. Smart move. Okay. All right. And my wife said he probably took 77, not 85, 95. But I digress. Yeah. Yeah. He probably took 77 and went through them damn winding mountains all the way up through Virginia and West Virginia, probably. All right. So Tommy Tremble and Mike Jackson are back in black and processed blue. Okay. Now, okay, Miles Sanders. So Miles Sanders did get released. Excuse me, and that saved the Panthers $5.5 million of cap space. And reason why I have both of these on the slide together, and I got it labeled pay cuts, is it was reported. Now, Shy Tuttle agreed to take a pay cut. I think like a $3 million pay cut. I saw on Twitter, don't know the validity of this, but I saw that Miles Sanders wanted to stay here. His agents, his team were working with the Panthers on some kind of a deal. But when it came down to it, Miles Sanders didn't agree to it. I don't know if that was some type of restructure or a pay cut or whatever. I can only imagine. Um, a lot of hate for Miles Sanders. Now mind you, um, Miles Sanders walked into a powder keg, that first year in Carolina with that terrible offensive line, and then he also, got hurt and all that good stuff too. He was hurt most of this season. Hurt some last year, but I do. No, I'm sorry, he was hurt. Trying to think. Hold on, he was. Was this the second or third year of his? I'm not gonna be able to pull him up now because he's already been cut. So never
It was
mind.
the second year, ain't it?
Yeah, I think he
Because
was
he
going
came
to
when
third year.
with Newton, not Newton. I can't even think of the coach name.
Oh, Rule. No, no, yeah, he came here with no, Frank Wright. Frank
Yeah,
Wright.
Frank Wright.
That's
Yeah,
right.
because he
Frank
was
Wright. Frank Wright.
Deuce. He was Deuce boy.
Mm. Okay, I got you. All right, yeah. But Miles Sanders is one of those where I do think again it's a um, scheme situation. Like I said, his first year we had a terrible offensive line. You saw what he did in Philly with the good offensive line. I think if he'd have stayed injury free, it may have been a different situation. But for the majority of Panther Nation, they have they're standing on the porch and they're doing this. They're waving Miles Sanders goodbye as he blows his stuff up and finds him another team. And again, no hate from me towards him. I wish him well. And but yeah, but let me tell you, but this one down here though, this one down here, Shy Tuttle. When I tell you, that's another one. I thought there was no way on God's green earth, Shy Tuttle was going to be back. I thought he was going to get cut for sure. It was just a matter of time. Just a matter of time. But Shy, I don't know what happened. Shy said, "Hey y'all, I'm good. I would like to stay. Go ahead. I'll take a pay cut.
Yeah,
I
this is
mean,
home for him, ain't it?
yeah, I told him go. He went to Tennessee, but I don't know where he's from though.
Dan probably was like, "We gonna release you." He was like, "I'll take a pay cut, please, please keep."
But again though, I said this earlier and I say this again. I think Shy Tuttle is a player who is definitely in the wrong scheme. He is not a nose tackle. Okay, he's not a nose tackle in the 3-4 scheme. But like I said, I thought for sure there was no way you were going to convince me that Shy Tuttle was going to be on this squad this year. But he's still here. Um, but now, hopefully, the Panthers don't have to rely on him for an entire game, entire drive. We got Bobby Brown here, and to be honest with you, I don't think that's the end of more defensive linemen being added to the rotation. Because me personally, if Mason Graham is still sitting there at number 8, I'm taking him. I'm sorry, I know a lot of people probably disagree with me, but if Mason Graham is still sitting there at 8, I'm taking him. I promise
When
you. Or
Goodell go up there with the seventh pick and the first noise he make is not an M noise, turn the card
mhm,
in.
turn the card in, yeah. Or even a situation where if we were to trade back a couple spots, I'm like, okay, cool. Mason Graham get gone. The next name on the card I'm gonna have in the card, Kenneth Grant. Get him on in here.
I like
You know.
KG.
Mm-hmm.
We just signed the safety, but I'm biased. I'm a Gamecocks fan, so E-Man Worry, I would love that, but it ain't happening.
True. True. But but again, you never know. You never know what Dan and them are going to do. Once they get into the draft, because you got to think if they don't make any major splashes at another safety, or like an edge rusher or something in free agency, that's yeah, that's
Hmm.
let me see, yeah, yeah, that's probably on their mind. Like my mind is Mason Graham, but again, the draft class is deep, so they could probably get defense, another decent defensive lineman later on in the draft. Okay, but that's just me wanting another a truly talented defensive lineman to come in and help stop the run. Because like we said, if we have this rash of injuries like we had this year and the prior year, but on the offensive side of the ball, it would be nice to have that, hopefully that superstar, defensive lineman that you got in the first round, ready, willing, and able to come in and step in, and hopefully the drop off is little to none. you know.
Yeah,
But there's so many holes and needs on this team that my thing is, as long as it's got to for me, it's got to be defensive. Okay. I hear everybody saying about taking Ted McMillan or either trading back and getting Tyler Warren. um, I wouldn't be completely just irate at it, but I'm not gonna sit here and say that I'm gonna be jumping up and down and be like, oh, that was the right pick. This, that, and the third. That's not gonna be me. But like I said, for me, I want it to be on the defense side of the ball, whether it's cornerback, I'm gonna say cornerback, safety, or edge. As probably top three. Yeah.
I'm just prepared for whoever the pick is. Half of the fan base gonna be upset.
This is true. Yeah, all the Ted McMillan fans are going to be calling the fire Dan again, and then whoever whoever else is going to be like, yeah, great pick, great pick, great pick. All right, Well, let me get on here too. Okay. Now, remember if you were here earlier and I messed up and showed my last slide first. Okay. Here we go. All right. Everybody in the chat, let me know, how do y'all think Dan Morgan did so far from and just take it back to the end of the season. Okay. Not just the last couple of days, the end of the season. The players that we have let go of, the players that we have brought back to Carolina, players that we have brought in the last couple of days. Ticket said, please hurry up and change the slide. Oh God. Oh man. Hey, Kitty Lit Zio, a Carolina Panthers podcast. What's going on? How you doing? He said, "What's up, boys? What's going on with you?
What's up? I
Thank you for
watched your
coming through."
podcast. You have some interesting thoughts, some good thoughts. I like watching your
Oh,
stuff.
I'm gonna have to check it out. This is the first time I heard of, it, but I definitely will check it out, man. As soon as we get up off here, I appreciate you stopping through. But yeah, but y'all let me know. Nicole, I'm gonna start you. Oh, and I put like this: if you give Dan a letter grade, everybody, let me know in the chat. Give Dan a letter grade and tell me what you think, how you think he's done so far.
I'm stuck between a B plus and an A minus. So,
Mm,
pretty good. I don't want to say, he hasn't been perfect, but I do like, pretty much all of the moves that he's made. And I think is I think we are better than we were when before free agency started.
okay,
So,
all right. Um, I'm gonna give Dan a solid B. Okay, I'm gonna give Dan a solid B. Because now, like I said, edge rusher is probably something they're going to address in the draft. But I do think there
mhm.
were some quality cornerbacks that they probably could have gone after out here in free agency. I would have loved to seen, like I said, Mike Jackson coming back is to me is big. And not taking anything away from Mike Jackson, but I still think that that's a position that they could have added to because is J.C. Horn, Mike Jackson, Shao Smith Wade, and I think maybe one or two guys off the practice squad that are on the roster now. But I do think that that's still a position that they can upgrade further. Um, but I do give him credit, and the thing is, and it's funny because you see this meltdown on Twitter, you know, um, fire Dan, this and that, and the third. And it's like my mama used to say all the time, like, well, ain't nobody paying you no attention. Like y'all here hollering and screaming, like Dan is sitting on his phone, like, oh my goodness, oh Lord, they don't like me, I gotta fix this. Oh my God, hurry up, please, oh God.
Yeah,
Dan ain't worried
he
about
don't
y'all,
care at
man.
all.
He does not care. He does not care at all. Kitty Lit Zero said B minus. Okay, got you. Dig it said I'll be able to tell more after this season. That's not what I asked you, dig it. That's not what I asked you. I said from the end of this past season to right now. Go ahead and give me something right now. Just throw me a letter out there. I don't care if you put a Q on the screen. Just throw me a letter. But
Something
yeah,
else that tears fan base apart a little bit.
what's that?
What do we think about Gilly again? Stephon Gilmore,
I
What did we
saw
start
somebody
talking
say
about him?
that. I saw somebody say that. I wouldn't be against it. I even saw somebody talking about bringing back Deontay Johnson. I'm like,
Nah,
nah, bro,
mm-mm.
that's not going to happen.
Nah.
Miss Hunky Dory said, considering we have improved across the board with our superstar signings, solid B to B plus, and more is to come. We still got money to spend. Okay, all right. He said, sorry, B minus. Okay, got you, dig it. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you. But yeah, I'm gonna give him a B because one thing I do think that they are trying to address is this porous run defense that we had last year. Okay, and a lot of these signings, a lot of their strengths are, as far as PFF goes, are run defense grade. Okay, and I'm wondering if for somehow some way that he may have talked Ejiro Evero out of trying to put another 290, 300 pound defensive tackle there. Because when Evero first came, we had Marquand McCall and John Pennicini. Now, John Pennicini came from the Lions. he didn't pass his physical. Okay, so that's what happened to him. And then Marquand McCall got cut. I don't remember what happened with that. It was something weird, and I think he made a tweet or something. He was like, "Nah, I'm ready to go or whatever." But both of those guys, were like 330 plus, and Marquand played the season before. But ever since then, like I said, Shy Tuttle, everybody has been like 300, 295, 305. You haven't seen any like, big. And I'm not saying that, just because this cat is, 300 plus or body runs like 324, just because he's 320 plus, that he will come in and be able to, just dominate because he's 20, 30 pounds bigger than what we've been accustomed to. But it's just it seemed like that was one of Evero's like kind of stickler points. Like he's like, nah, I want this type of defensive nose tackle. Like he was trying to get that Aaron Darnold production. Because Aaron Darnold was like a good 290 something, might have been 300 pounds. But the thing is, there's only one Aaron Darnold. We may or may not see another Aaron Darnold. So that's just my kind of thought and opinion on. But yeah, I think Dan has done a good job, and I don't think that they are done. Because I give them a solid B plus, and I'm hoping that here in the next shoot, and like since I've been live, and y'all said we signed Rico Dow from Dallas. That's a good pickup. Okay, Doug came on here and he said he got a phone call. Things are in the works. Like I was telling Doug, like Doug, don't say nothing. You gonna get portrayed as a falsifier of information. Oh, let me tell you, when I say somebody else that the Panthers were mad at was Adam Schefter. Boy, let me tell you, they were on him. They were calling him the worst NFL insider in history. And even I went on I saw Milton Williams post a picture of the New England Patriots flag. Somebody was running across the field during pregame. Man, let me tell you, Panther Nation was all in the comments on his post talking cash shit to that man. I was like, yo, I'm sitting there like, fam, like, no, he gone, y'all. Like, let him be. Like, let him be. He didn't do anything to us.
He did
Nothing.
everything to us, even if he didn't.
he,
I'm
he
all for
didn't
being
do nothing
angry
to
at
us,
him.
man. Oh my
He
goodness.
got our hopes up. That's what he did.
Let me see. Zio say he's got to close these deals faster, letting himself get leveraged by more savvy GM. I got you. I got you. And I'm gonna disagree slightly with you on that one. I'm not gonna say more savvy, but some of these GMs that he's dealing with got a lot more bank behind them. So, but yeah, I got you though. I got you. I got you.
Especially
Miss
the
Hun-
Patriots.
like I said, they got about $700 million in cap space. They can get whoever the hell they want. Um, Miss Unky Doris said 40 pounds makes a difference at nose tackle. Give me 6'1" to 6'3", 340 to 355. Hey boy, walking tanks there, but I feel you. Um, said he hasn't done any Sean Gilbert deals. No, unless let's hope not. Let me see. McCall was a camp MVP too. All insiders were shocked. Yeah, yeah, he came out of nowhere because he was undrafted out of Kentucky. Undrafted out of Kentucky. Me and Tony dubbed him Big Snacks. We call him Big Snacks McCall. That was a big dude. That was a big dude. But he did good. Like I said, I don't know what happened in that off season, but gone. Yep. Let me see. Miss Uncle Doris talking. Yeah, he said McCall still on the team. I think he is. No, no. McCall been gone for a couple years now. Yep. But all right, y'all. But yeah, but like I said, I give Dan a good B. The car is what you say? You're teetering between
I give him
B
a
and a
B
B plus.
plus.
B plus. Okay. All right. Cool bean.
Fit was good for 2 or 3 deals where we just like, who, what, this don't
Yeah.
make any sense. And Dan hasn't had any of that, so just for that alone, that equals a C. And then the actual deals, a B plus.
Now mind you, depending on who you talk to, there's probably a lot of people out here like Snoop Dogg. They sitting up in their chair. Who? And
Did you
and
see?
I'm
We re-signed Dan Chisena or Chisney or however you say,
yes,
and everybody was
yes.
like, "Is he good? Is he good?" I'm like, "He
Oh
was on
my
the team, y'all."
God. And I think it was I can't remember a man name from Panthers on Tap. He was like, my God. He said he was on the team last year. He said it shows it shows something about a lot of y'all quote unquote Panther fans. And I'm
Yeah,
like, yeah, that man that man was on the practice squad all year. That shit. But
and he's super
yeah,
fast. He's like 4'3", ain't it?
I don't
He a
know. But
track guy.
got you. I mean, shoot, maybe he'll figure into the return game somehow. You know.
Yeah, he was playing gunner, I think,
Hmm.
because I know Coach Bates was talking about him on the podcast, telling
Hmm.
him how he got the advantage. Nobody thinks he's as fast as he is, so
Yeah.
use that to your advantage.
Oh, and I met Coach Bates at the Shrine Bowl. Let me tell you, when I say he is just as hilarious in person as he looks when he's on the damn sideline, bruh. Hey, that man is all energy all the time. It's wild.
That's good. We need that energy. We need that positive energy in the bank.
Yeah, we do. We definitely do. All right, y'all. Well, that's in the car. I was gonna say now, don't jet off on me just yet. Get your closing thoughts here. But that's all I got for everybody tonight. It's been a wild, couple of days of free agency. Um, Depending on what side of the fence you're on, as far as the Carolina Panthers fan base, a lot of people love what's happened. I'm pretty pleased with it, and I think that there's still going to be more room for improvement. A lot of people are just don't like it, can't deal with it. It's the end of the world. They're gonna wake up tomorrow. Bank of America Stadium is gonna be on fire. We're gonna lose the team. They're gonna move somewhere, and I'm it just am I exaggerating the car?
You not at all.
Okay. Okay, so that's the kind of day it's been, or a couple of days it's been, on X listening to the Panther Nation. But yeah, I applaud Dan and them for, like I said, it seems like they have a plan. They're sticking with it. They're trying to address the offense. I'm sorry, the defensive line, like they addressed the offensive line last season, and in particular, the running game. Now, on top of that, I do hope that they get some pass rush help in here. Excuse me, as far as some edge rushers, where it be anything left in the draft or I'm sorry, anything left in free agency or the draft. But yeah, they and one thing that Dan Morgan said that I did like, and I think I mentioned this on the last live when he was doing the interviews at the combine, and he was talking about the people, the players at the combine. He said he's going to get with the stat people because a lot of people, you see their combine numbers may not match their play on the field. You got somebody that goes out here and kills it at the combine, but they don't play like that. But then you
Hmm.
have somebody that goes to the combine and everybody was like, you know what? I was expecting just a tad bit better. But then you go out and look at their tape, and their tape is way more than a tad bit better. The tape is like, I don't know what we saw at the combine, but look at how they're playing. They that's what we want. Now, I just
Yeah,
hope
that's
they
how
keep
Starks
it.
was today at the pro day because I think he ran a
Mhm.
4.7.
Yeah, I was a 4.7 and a 4.8, I do believe. I heard
Ooh,
him talking about that one.
that's
But
terrible.
we'll see.
Well,
Was
I
it
mean,
Starks or Walker?
nah, it was wait, might have been nah, it was Williams. It was Michael Williams.
Michael Williams. Okay, got you.
Yeah.
All right. But we'll see. Like I said, if you put your trust in Dan Morgan or not, he's a GM, and we got to go with what they give us. We'll see. But Nakari, any closing thoughts for the good people out here before we get out of here?
We ain't had this much to be excited about in a very, very long time. And so I just want everybody to relax. When something happens, relax. Don't don't just automatically react. It seems like that's what everybody does. But just relax and keep pounding, man.
I feel you. I feel you. Like Doris said, Bates podcast is crazy funny. It looks like Tarzan play like Jay. Y'all, wow. Okay. All right, y'all. I appreciate y'all joining me tonight. Thank you to Nakari for coming up here and kicking it with me. I greatly
Thank you for
appreciate it.
having me, man.
Anytime, buddy. Anytime. On y'all way out, please, if you haven't already, if I'm not mistaken, here there, and thank you, from the bottom of my heart for everybody out there on Twix. And if you haven't heard, I call Twix, a mixture of that's a mixture of Twitter and X. There's 315 of y'all that are currently watching. I
Whoa.
appreciate the absolute hell out of all of y'all. 17 watching on YouTube. I also absolutely appreciate the hell out of all of y'all as well. So thank you. I really do. But before you go out here, if you will, go to my YouTube page, click that like and subscribe button. Over on Twix, make sure you follow my page. I greatly appreciate it. Again, you can catch me at all social media at Armchair GMCJ. There's also my Cash App as well. If you want to donate anything to the channel, greatly appreciate it. It will go directly back into making this a better channel and a better experience in the future. All right. And as always, if you haven't heard me say this before, I'm gonna leave y'all with three things. Number one, y'all be good. Number two, y'all be safe. And number three, as always, Panther Nation, keep pounding, man. I'll see you.